Jason Leffler was a NASCAR driver who competed from the early 2000s to the early 2010s. Before he made a name for himself in NASCAR, he was known as one of the best in USAC. He was mentored by the one and only PJ Jones, and as a teenager, he would happily sweep floors, clean car parts, and soaked up everything he could about the sport at the Torrance shop. It was kind of a rough start in the beginning of his USAC career. He started off racing midget cars where he was still learning the ropes early on. In 1996, he was named the series' most improved driver, as well as scoring his first ever win in El Cajon, California. But from 1997 to 1999, his USAC career skyrocketed. He ended up winning 3 consecutive midget championships from 1997 to 1999, as well as the Silver Crown Series championship sandwiched in between in 1998. His success in USAC obviously got the attention of car owners in both NASCAR and the Indy Racing League. His first IRL start for Treadway Racing in 1999 unfortunately led to his first DNF. The following season, he made 2 more starts at Las Vegas and finished 17th in that season's Indy 500. But in the end, he decided he wanted to give stock car racing a full-time go.
For more on pole sitter Jason Leffler, Ken Squire.
Yeah, Leffler held on to that 3rd spot for the first 8 laps here. Let's not forget that he did have a very good run in the ARCA race at Atlanta last fall. He finished 5th and he ran it steady all day. The 3-time USAC midget champion really getting a big initiation here at Texas today, finally dropping back just a bit here in the standings. But we look for him to be a real contender in years to come. If you were to hire a guy on St. Patrick's Day to be an elf, he would be a real candidate.
With the success stories of Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart, USAC stars were getting more opportunities in NASCAR than ever before. It was only natural that Joe Gibbs Racing would sign Jason Leffler on for the full Busch Series season in 2000. He showed flashes of speed and promise throughout the season, scoring 3 poles in his rookie year. Unfortunately, it was mired by inconsistency and resulted in a 20th place points finish. But that didn't scare this Cup Series team from snatching him up for the 2001 season. Chip Ganassi Racing needed to replace the late Kenny Irwin Jr. with a young up-and-coming full-time driver. It was only natural that Jason Leffler would get the call, being that he came from USAC just like Kenny Irwin Jr. Although he showed flashes of promise, scoring a pole at Kansas, his rookie season for Chip Ganassi Racing was honestly one of the worst in NASCAR history.
Trouble over the tunnel. On the racetrack. Over the tunnel. Lots of cars everywhere. Big wreck.
Brett Bodine, Jason Leffler, Steve Park.
That's what happens over that tunnel. Car just gets loose over the tunnel turn. There happens a lot. Stays in the throttle, smoke in the rear tire, spinning around, and of course every time he goes around, he's just making more smoke and blocking the racetrack.
We did see the net come down on Buckshot Jones's car.
Wow. Ooh. Boy, Leffler just drove right up into the side of Buckshot, and watch this.
Ooh, wow.
And it's not over.
And the thing about Leffler's car, he already had damage, and that probably just didn't, the car probably took off on him.
The final tally for his 2001 rookie season was 0 wins, 0 top 5s, 1 top 10, a pole, and an average finish of 27.7 with a 37th place points finish, as well as 6 DNQs and 8 DNFs. Chip Ganassi Racing let Jason Leffler go after the 2001 season, so it was only natural for Leffler to go down a couple series to help rebuild his career, and he did just that in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series from 2002 to 2003, driving the number 2 Dodge for Jimmy Smith. In his first season, he scored 11 top 5s and 50 top 10s and a whopping 8 pole positions, but unfortunately no wins, but still finished top 5 in points. 2003 saw him compete in most of the Truck Series races that season, scoring 10 top 10s and 2 poles, but he finally crossed that bridge in late May, scoring his first career win at Dover.
Down the backstretch he goes, under a half of a mile to go for Jason Leffler.
How about Dennis Conner coming on board first race? Call it, Rick.
He comes out of turn number 4, and the MBNA Armed Forces Family 200 champion crosses the start-finish line.
During that same season, he made 6 starts in the 00 Haas Automation Chevy and was good enough to land a full-time gig for the 2004 season. He was up against some pretty serious competition that year in Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch, 2 future Cup Series champions, but Jason Leffler held his own. With Booty Barker by his side, he put up one of his best seasons of his entire career. 8 top 5s, 17 top 10s, a 3rd place points finish, and his first career Busch Series win at Nashville.
Half a straightaway to go for Jason Leffler.
They're off at turn number 4. He's got about 200 yards to go. If I was a betting person, I would say he's going to make it.
And Jason Leffler has enough fuel to go the distance and score his first NASCAR Busch Series win, the first win for his owner, Gene Haas.
His performances in the NASCAR Busch Series once again caught the attention of Joe Gibbs Racing, only this time he would offer a much bigger gig, a full-time opportunity to drive the number 11 FedEx Express Chevy in the NASCAR Cup Series for 2005. Without a doubt, this was Jason Leffler's best opportunity he had ever gotten in his entire NASCAR career. It was the inaugural season of what we now know as the FedEx 11. Unfortunately, the first driver of this ride did not fare so well.
One car gets turned, it's John Andretti. He collects Jason Leffler as they slide through turn 3 and 4.
Leffler in the 11 car had nowhere to go.
Jason Leffler up in smoke.
Trouble in turn 2. Jason Leffler bounces off the walls, and the yellow flag is out already in the Food City 500.
One of the worst seasons any major team could have, without a doubt. In 19 starts, Leffler had 0 top 10 finishes with an average finish of 27.5. With lackluster performances in the team's inaugural season, naturally Joe Gibbs was going to look elsewhere.
So in August, a change was made.
That was pretty frustrating, but that's racing.
Really look forward to a great future with Denny.
I've had a great experience with Joe Gibbs Racing so far, and hopefully this is our last announcement for tens of years. The next one hopefully will be retirement.
Denny Hamlin has not left that ride ever since. But this wasn't the end of Jason Leffler's NASCAR career, not by a long shot. In 2006, he went back down to the NASCAR Busch Series to drive for Braun Racing. At the time, they were a Chevy team, but come 2007, they would make the switch to Toyota in their first season. In the beginning, the 2007 season was looking like another bad season for Jason Leffler. He was as low as 23rd in the standings to start the season, but by midsummer, they were able to get the 38 Grey Clips Toyota all the way to 5th in the standings, a massive turnaround. But that wouldn't be the end of it. The quest to get Toyota's first win in the NASCAR Busch Series was on, and by the time they reached IRP, Jason Leffler would do just that.
Let's get more on Jason Leffler from Jackaroo.
Well, remember, guys, before caution, Jason Leffler was running in the 5th position. His crew chief around decided to bring him in to put new tires on. Technically, they weren't new. They had 4 laps in a mock qualifying attempt. They reasoned that if the last 50 laps, if they could gain a half second on the leaders, they just might be able to pilot this great Toyota into victory lane. Meanwhile, the man in 3rd place, dipping to the inside, trying to challenge fellow Toyota driver, is Jason Leffler. Guys, it was not just the tire choice that has given Leffler this new muscle. His spotter noticed that some cars were getting better bite a little lower in the corner. So the spotter said, Jason wanted to try to go low. And Shannon, that's what he's doing right now.
Take a look. Oh, he may have him this time. Rudiman opened the door just enough, and boy, Leffler just slid on by, and the crew says, come on, baby, one more to go.
There you go, the old slide job here at IRP.
This time whoa, and this time it could be Rudiman taking advantage. Down the front stretch, going into one. And he does, he takes it back.
You know, Biff was just loving this.
Yeah, Biff will say,
not done yet.
And more contact. They're coming right back on each other. We promised you some fender banging. We didn't know we'd have this much. This one's going to the wire. Rudiman can do nothing but watch right now. And Leffler gets a nose in front. Can he make it stick? Here comes Biffle right back.
I tell you what, Jason's going to be a whale of a finish. He already is. 2 to go, coming right to the line.
2, this time by, and Leffler leans on him. Gets loose, still can he hold on? Leffler may be able to clear him coming out of 2. He does!
He could be waving goodbye to him right now.
He will get his first win here at O'Reilly Raceway Park, and he will be the man that delivers Toyota its first victory in the NASCAR Busch Series. There it is, the checker.
Great job, everybody. Good call, Losey. Good call. Everybody help. That's a good deal. Good for everybody.
Hey, boys, this is all for you guys, man. Good job, Losey. You deserve this, bud. We're going to victory lane. Great job.
This was a significant win in all of NASCAR's history at the time, but it's even more significant when you look at Toyota's track record ever since. Think about all of the races they have won in what we now know as Xfinity Series competition. Despite all of the races Kyle Busch might have won, Jason Leffler will always be the man who brought Toyota their first victory in the now called NASCAR Xfinity Series. He followed up that win with a third place points finish in 2007 and would end up driving for Braun Racing all the way up until 2011. In his 5 seasons with the team, he posted points finishes of 3rd, 9th, 4th, 9th, and 6th. Little did we know that his IRP victory would be the final of his NASCAR career. 2011 turned out to be Jason Leffler's final full-time season in NASCAR. He was set to move on from Braun Racing after the season, but the way it ended wasn't the best.
Yeah, that's a great move. You can see Jason Leffler really get loose there. Down in 1-2, Elliott's able to make that pass 2 at a time. Easy! No!
Oh, no!
What are you doing?
Leffler gets into him.
Oh, that's terrible.
And Almirola gets contact as well, and the caution is out. Clements gets involved.
Morgan Shepherd.
And the championship for Elliott Sadler might just be in a heap right now. Here was Elliott's somewhat subdued gesture, as he obviously not happy with Jason Leffler, but as I said, I was expecting to see smoke coming out of those ears.
I'm sure the video shows that the 38 just run right in the back of us. So not much respect for guys running for the championship. I thought I was doing the right thing to get away from them. They both got loose in the middle of 1 and 2. I pull up under them, get away from them to not crowd them all up because the track's narrow. Pull up, clear them, and then have the line going into turn 3, and he's just running the back of me. So very frustrating, very frustrating. Seems like you work all season long to put yourself in a situation, and just it all goes away at a split second.
He stopped sooner than I expected, but ultimately it's my responsibility, and he slid across the racetrack. I think he got in early not to overshoot the corner. I was racing Eric, but I take full responsibility. I run right in the back of him. But it was the last thing. It wasn't on purpose. It was a mistake on my part. So feel bad for him and his guys.
You at least have to give it to him for admitting he did mess up. After 2011, Jason Leffler joined up with Kyle Busch Motorsports in the NASCAR Truck Series for the 2012 season. It was supposed to be a full-time gig, but it only lasted a total of 10 races. Strings of bad luck and poor performance plagued the team, and come mid-August, Jason Leffler would end up being released by Kyle Busch Motorsports. After this, there weren't many other offers to go full-time NASCAR racing. While he did make a handful of starts in Cup and the Nationwide Series in 2012 and 2013, his main focus was once again on the dirt. That's where Leffler's true talent shined, and he probably preferred dirt racing over everything else. He was beginning to make the transition to once again becoming a full-time dirt racer. Unfortunately, he would never get that opportunity to make the full transition. On June 12, 2013, tragedy would strike.
NASCAR driver Jason Leffler has died following an accident at a dirt car track in New Jersey. Leffler ran 294 races in the Nationwide Series, 73 in the Sprint Cup Series, including last Sunday's Cup race in Pocono. Leffler, a native of Long Beach, California, was just 37 years old. He lost his NASCAR ride after last season, primarily drove dirt car races this season, ran only the one Cup race this season at Pocono, finishing 43rd for Humphrey Smith Racing.
I was actually at football camp when I turned on SportsCenter and saw that exact same news report. It gave me pause for a day or two. Leffler was involved in a crash during a Ford 10 sprint car heat race that took place at Bridgeport Speedway in New Jersey. Leffler's car had suffered a front suspension failure, causing it to crash into a wall and flip several times. he unfortunately instantly lost consciousness in the accident. The cause of death was later revealed to be severe blunt force trauma to his neck and a backbone injury. After his death, many drivers and racing associations such as NASCAR and IndyCar made statements and gave their condolences. NASCAR drivers competing in the following race at Michigan had special stickers placed on their cars in honor of Leffler. Denny Hamlin even went as far as running a throwback scheme to the first ever FedEx 11 car that was driven by him. Jason Leffler was one of my favorite drivers to watch growing up as a kid. His career in the NASCAR Cup Series might not have been the greatest in the world, but overall, when you look at his NASCAR career in all top 3 series combined, he was certainly not a bust. You bring up the name Jason Leffler to USAC fans and you will get a ton of praise immediately. In 2018, Jason Leffler was officially inducted into the USAC Hall of Fame. In the 2021 Chili Bowl Nationals, the last name Leffler returned on the side of Damon Gardner's entry with the support of Jason Leffler's son, Charlie. Jason Leffler was 37. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Black Flags Matter. Catch you next time.
A native of Long Beach, California, was 37 years old.